So, according to Mike Weber, now that Urban has made his announcement, coach is actually smiling again. Are you seeing the same thing, sort of a...
Well, which coach are you referring to?
The one who's retiring in the
yeah.
Rose Bowl. They made the announcement.
I feel like he's less stressed now. I mean, obviously football is a very stressful thing to even play or coach. So, I mean, I hope he's going to be happier. He's going to be able to get his health together when he leaves. So.
Were you surprised by the announcement? What was your reaction to it, I guess?
I kind of knew it was coming as well. I mean, throughout the season, like, he's just not himself from where he was before. So, I mean, I wasn't very surprised by it.
Just because of the headaches, you could just see that they were really bothering him.
Yeah, you can tell.
For a local guy, what is the Rose Bowl? To play for Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, what does that mean?
I mean, I wasn't really grown up in it. You know?
Right.
I was a little young when last time I went, I believe. So, I mean, I'm excited to play in it. I'm excited to go. I mean, it's my first time ever going to California. So,
Do you remember the 2010 game with Oregon?
very vaguely.
Yeah.
So,
Davon, having played for Urban, he's one of the most successful coaches in college football history. Why has he been so successful?
he's just great. He's a great leader for a lot of young football players, I believe, and he's able to build a team very well that will help him lead in a great way. I mean, overall, like my experience with him, I just love him as a coach. He's basically provided anything that we ever needed. He's able to get us jobs after football. I mean, what else can you ask for?
So if you weren't that surprised personally with the announcement, what was the feeling like in the room? What was that moment like when the team gathers and gets that news?
I mean, as a team, I feel like even though we weren't surprised by it. I mean, we were just more happy that he's going to be happier when he leaves or whatever, and is able to enjoy his retirement without his health being in vain. So it's more about him than us, for real.
A lot of people say, you know, we've heard this from a lot of you guys, is that, you know, you weren't surprised. Like, really nobody was surprised because of just everything that he had looked like he was going through. And obviously you guys had an inside seat to it all season. I mean, was there any indication, though? I mean, you weren't surprised, but did it seem like maybe you knew quite a bit ahead of time that this was going to be coming down the pike here at the end of the season?
I honestly thought he was going to announce it after our game, not before it. But I mean,
but you kind of knew even before that he announced, like, he's going to be calling it quits here at the end of the season?
No. I mean, he might have decided to go another year or whatever, but I mean, I knew like sooner or later, within this next year or so, he was going to retire.
Has it seemed to dampen any of the guys' spirits, or maybe has it elevated people? Like, hey man, we got to go out and win one more for coach at the granddaddy of them all.
I feel like it definitely elevated us. I mean, he's definitely had his legacy or whatever. He might as well end it with a win. I mean,
might as well,
yeah,
right? Why
well.
not? Well, what do you guys see out of Washington? What are you looking forward to, at least you yourself and maybe you guys as a unit here in the Huskies?
They're definitely a great football team. I mean, they deserve to be here just as much as we deserve to be here. I mean, personally, their offensive line is very good. They're a very downhill running team, so I'm excited for that.
Davon, Draymond said today he's playing in the Rose Bowl. Does that surprise you at all?
No. I mean, Draymond, he's just a competitor. I mean, can't really ask anything else out of him. I mean,
hey, Jim,
I know he loves us just as much as we love him. I mean, this is going to be his last football game, being a Buckeye probably, so I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, he said he's leaving.
Yeah, he did confirm
no
it.
doubt.
You're not spilling any secrets.
Nobody's surprised.
So
Did you say we'll see? Yeah.
What has he been like as he goes through that process of making the decision about next year and about the Rose Bowl?
He's just been the same. I mean, I don't think it's really affected him really like being around us or anything. I mean, it doesn't change his attitude about how he trains, about going into games or anything. He's really the same guy.
Davon, will you indulge me? I wasn't over here when you first started, but when you're sitting in that team meeting and Coach Meyer, or it's announced that he's retiring, and immediately Coach Day has announced he's going to be I don't know, what were just your emotions as you went through there of like understanding your head coach and stepping down, but you also knew who your next head coach was?
I mean, I kind of like knew he was going to retire or whatever, and also it was very. It kind of made sense like while Coach Day was our interim coach for short amount of time at the beginning of the season. And I mean, it kind of just put everything together, really.
And so you left there with a sense of what? Confidence? I mean, what was your sense when you left that room?
Definitely confidence. I mean, we got to experience what Coach Day is like as a head coach already, and I feel like he's definitely a great coach coming up.
And why do you say that? I mean, what did he do during that interim that just caught your eye?
He's just a leader. I mean, all the guys really enjoyed him being around, enjoyed him as a head coach. I mean, there's really nothing you can really ask of him either. I mean, it's kind of like the same type of model Coach Meyer tried to inspire.
So did you say that you guys kind of suspected that Urban might be stepping down after the season?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell. I mean, he wasn't feeling well. His health was deteriorating. So
no, was any of this really a shock? I mean, Urban retiring, Ryan Day being, were you guys kind of expecting that all season? Or?
I mean, not really expecting. I mean, obviously we're focused on the games or whatever, but
what are you looking forward to seeing in California? Have you been to California?
I've never been to California, so it's kind of a first experience for me.
So you've heard about California, right?
I have.
What are you looking forward to seeing or maybe getting to experience?
Warm weather.
Yeah.
Been to Florida, right?
Yeah.
No wildfires.
Been to Florida before?
You guys been looking at the weather
so
out there?
palm trees.
Yeah.
You guys been checking the weather out there daily at all with this 30-degree weather that we've got here right now?
I just checked it today. My first time checking it today. So.
60s?
Yeah.
What do you know, though, of the Rose Bowl? When I say Rose Bowl, what comes to mind? Because if you'd grown up 40 years ago, you know what I mean? You'd probably be more invested in it, you know?
I mean, me personally, I don't think I was very invested as when I was younger, or whatever. I mean, I heard about it. I mean, it's definitely one of the best bowl games you can possibly go to.
But now the Big Ten team hardly, it's like no guarantee the champion's going to play in it and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of changed for a younger generation. What intrigues you about it, though? You've seen pictures.
Just the atmosphere of it. I mean, I've never been in the type of atmosphere like that. I mean, there's a lot of hype that goes to it, too. So, I mean, I'm kind of intrigued to see if the hype is actually real or not.
Hey, last thing for me anyway. What do you think you guys hit on defensively the last couple of games? Coming out of that Maryland game, what did you feel like got better against Michigan and Northwestern that y'all could build on, if that's the right term?
I think just really focusing on our jobs, really. I mean, that's basically what we've all been focusing on since the end of the Big Ten. Like, look, we got to get it together, make sure everything's cool for this game. So making sure we understand our jobs, really.
You as speaking of history and stuff, like I was talking a while ago about the Rose Bowl, but y'all have a chance as a defense to have given up the most yards and points by an Ohio State team, and yet y'all are 12-1 and Big Ten champions. Explain that to me.
I mean, we never lost confidence even when we were struggling a little bit. I mean, we all believe in what we can do. So, I mean, it's nothing to us to, maybe we might give up here and there, but we still got to keep on fighting.
Yeah. So.
Davon, a couple of quick questions about Coach Day. Just, has he talked to you at all, guys, more? Like, has he come to you maybe like as a group or individually? Just because I know you're on the other side of the football. Just, has he talked to any of you guys at all just about, or is that going to be something that's going to be addressed after the Rose Bowl?
Honestly, he's been talking to us pretty much the whole season. Not about, like, obviously being a head coach, but just, like, he's always been a leader this whole time and been throughout this whole season. So I'll have a conversation with him pretty much every day.
And then also, has he been kind of more hands-on in terms, is this still Urban's team, or is it kind of like Urban's still in charge, but Ryan's also kind of learning the ropes here for the next month?
Yeah, I guess it is kind of a transition a little bit. I mean, they're both kind of working together, trying to get us together for this game.